people typically on the right, you know, joke all the time saying, you know, oh, this is supposed to be the loving and inclusive left. Oh, very loving and inclusive and all that sort of stuff. But it's very true, isn't it? And it's like, why are they like that? Why do none of them want to actually have a conversation and debate? None of them want to even conceive the idea that there are people that might disagree with them. And I mean, they even will they'll go so far as to eject and exclude their own people from their community because they have a slightly different view. I mean, you only have to look at like detransitioners to know how they've been treated by the LGBT community. It's not good. They get exiled completely. I mean, Blair White, Buck Angel, have you seen them on YouTube?
Yes.
They get called TERFs. They're transgender themselves. It's just they have their heads screwed on right.
Yeah, it's the ideology, and that's the hallmark of a cult.
Yeah.
I have got a sign, which I've only taken out once. It says gender ideology is a cult. It's a hallmark of a cult. They will not accept any other opinion outside of that, and they will not tolerate anybody that wants to break away from the group.
Yeah.
So that's a warning shot, death before detransition. I interviewed a young lady called Emily who has gone partially through this transition process, calls herself Dimitri Lucifer Rodriguez is the name that she's adopted, and she's got a bushier beard than me now, hairier legs than me. She wears cornrows. She's had a double mastectomy. Her nipples have fallen off through narcosis. She's had them tattooed on, and she's got death before detransition on her back. And I interviewed her, and I said, you know, I do use sex-based pronouns, even though you identify now as a man. I can't, I don't accept that you're a man because you are biologically a female. So, but we got on well, and she agreed with a lot of what I do. Say keep it away from the kids. So she's saying some of the right things. Yeah. And I find that some of them that want to contact me, they say some of the right things.
Yeah.
But to have that on a back, that's a warning shot to other people.
I've had conversations where I remember I went to go and cover a Students Against Tyranny campaign down in Norwich outside the sports centre just after the court ruling about biological women. And so the sports centre had still been allowing trans people in the women's bathroom. So there was a big demo about that, and obviously there was Antifa there.
Yeah.
And the police, they were in like the field, and then there was a gate coming out to the road, and then we were all here. So the police had made us all been separated by this gate. And I was filming the crowd, and there was this girl in like a high-vis thing on the Antifa side, and she had, I think, pigtails and like these colourful scrunchies everywhere. So she like kind of stuck out to me, and she was screaming something at me. And at first I couldn't make out what it was, and she was asking me why I was here, and I said, well, I'm just here to film. And then she was saying, you know, F off, you're not wanted here, you Nazi. And I was like, well, that's not. What proof do you have that I'm a Nazi? The amount of times that I've been called a Nazi just in the last like 6 months alone is absolutely insane. And not a single person can prove any of it. But then after, I went back in the field after everyone had calmed down to see if I could actually have a proper conversation with anyone.
Yeah.
And this girl came up, because instantly the group started going like, oh, what are you doing here? F off, what, you want a video for your one subscriber and all that very mature stuff. And then this girl just came out and she went, actually, can we talk properly? And I went, yes, I would love that. Let's please do that. And I said, can I record it like an interview? She said, I don't want it to be recorded. I said, fair enough, but I want to talk to you anyway. We spoke for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We disagreed on 70%, but I took her points, she took my points. We didn't come to an agreement, but in the end, we shook hands. We were like, thank you for talking to me. I see your point. You see my, it was just it was nice. And I really enjoyed it. And it kind of reaffirmed my faith that it could happen. But the rest of them, even after hearing this conversation, like this guy who was identifying as not a guy, I don't know if it was non-binary or whatever they call it. But he started getting like really up in my face, like because we were having a conversation, and she actually defended me to him. So it can be done, but it has to be through the power of debate, and it can only happen if they don't shut it down.
Yeah, and I have some of the best conversations when I'm out on the street as a one-on-one. When other people turn up, it comes as a bit of a pile-on.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult. And a lot of the time at that point, they just want to shut you down. And because they'll ask you a question, you start to answer it, and then they'll throw another one at you and throw another one at you, and they don't want to listen. But when you get them on your own, sometimes you can have these conversations. So I suppose it's the madness of crowds, isn't it? People act differently when they're in a crowd. When they're on their own and it's one-on-one, you can get that. And that's part of the reasons why I do what I do, because they might not be aware of the harms that this gender ideology is causing. So that's part of what I do, get on the streets and have conversations. I don't like to call them the debates, because people will see from the videos, I am not the best debater in the world. And it's a debate is trying to win an argument, and I'm not trying to win an argument. I'm trying to have a conversation and raise awareness. And people are always saying to me, oh, in the comments, oh, you should have said this when they said that, and when they said that, you should have said this. And it's difficult to do when you're on the ground, particularly when there's lots of people and they're all firing that at you. But I think the fact that I'm not that good at debating, but I still go out and have these conversations, and you can expose the ideology, because you don't have to be that good to point out an absolute falsehood or flaw in their argument.